It's usually either no wind of significance or blowing in. I think it's basically no wind of significance tonight, so it's kind of a true 8, if you will. It's the Superbook Tuesday edition of the Las Vegas Sportsline. We thank Jeff Sherman for joining us the first portion of the show. All right, Platt is producing the show. Marco DAngelo is here, and I'm Dave Cokin, and we will get to some West Coast baseball and look at some of the matchups tonight. My friend Jay Salamini was out at Anaheim last night, and he got to see bonus baseball. Unfortunately, I doubt that he was happy with the ending because he can't stand the Yankees, and neither can I. The Yankees win the game 4-3 in 14. Jonathan Lucroy had a weird game as he was the GOAT, the hero early and the GOAT late. Hero early, where he hits a 2-run homer, and then the GOAT because the unearned run that won the game for the Yankees started with him throwing. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. It was a strike 3, wild pitch. But it's an easy throw to first base, and he threw it at the right field.
Yeah,
which you never see a catcher do, and he did. And needless to say, that run came around and scored, and that was the difference in the ball game. So we'll see what happens in tonight's game. Matt Harvey, by the way, not too bad for the Angels last night. Maybe he's starting to come around, or maybe it was the fact he was facing the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre Yankees rather than the New York Yankees. They're winning despite the fact they've got like 3 regulars right now.
Absolutely, and that was a gut-wrenching loss for me. I was on the Angels yesterday, and whenever you get an effort like that out of Matt Harvey and you can't get a win, you're not running good. But you look at this one, and I look tonight now because of that game going 14 innings last night. They had to use a lot of pitchers, and I think that when you go, and look at the bullpens, obviously the Yankees have an edge over the Angels bullpen.
Normally,
they,
especially with Chapman,
right?
But he pitched last night.
Everybody pitched last night, it seemed, for the two teams. But I'm going to go with the Yankees here.
Okay.
I just can't trust the Angels right now. Dave, they can't get out of their own way. And that was typical of the kind of stuff that they're doing last night when they had a game that they, really could have won, make a bonehead play like that and end up costing them. And Stratton's not been good. He has not been able to get out of he's gone 5 innings once, and the other 3 starts were all 4 in a piece. He gets that second and third time through the lineup. He's not good.
I think he's a bullpen guy. He just has not established himself as a starter, and I'm not sure he's ever going to. Coming over from the Giants, and he's eating up a few innings for the Angels, and that's about it. Rangers in Oakland tonight to face the A's. Good performance by Chris Bassett last night for the A's. That's a nice pickup for them in that they got something out of a starter who's was here last week. He pitched. I think he pitched the opening home game, didn't he? I believe he did at the new ballpark. He did a good job last night. Now one of the guys who's been kind of a mainstay this year, Frankie Montas, on the mound tonight. He's pitching good ball for this team. I wasn't as sold on Montas as some coming into the season. He's making a believer out of me.
Yeah, and Oakland caught Texas in a good spot last night, Dave. I used Oakland as my free play yesterday because Texas was coming off that series with Houston. They took 2 out of 3 from Houston and then had to travel to Oakland. Tonight, I'm going to look for this one to go under the total of 8 runs, and I'll tell you what I'm looking at. I agree with you. I like the way Montas has been pitching. But we got Lance Lynn on the mound, who's been pitching good right now. And believe it or not, this will be the first time that he's faced Oakland. This is an advantage to him. He's played his whole career in the National League. And the way he's pitching and the fact that they haven't seen him, I'm going to go ahead and look to the under. Oakland, after allowing 1 run or less, going back to the start of last season, when they do that at home, they're 18-7 to the under in the next game. I'll go ahead and look for this one to be a low-scoring game with the under.
And we'll head to Petco Park in San Diego. Unfortunately, not literally, just figuratively. Love to be there for this game.
We're going to grab dinner at Trulux before the game. Head over.
Yeah, that's a pretty good haul from La Jolla. Well, it's not too bad.
Yeah, we could do it.
Yeah. Just park someplace on Pacific Harbor and take the trolley in. Not bad. That's the way to do it, by the way. Don't park at the ballpark. Mariners and Padres tonight. Both teams getting yesterday off. San Diego's not been hitting the baseball lately. They've kind of morphed back, at least temporarily, into last year's Padres, where they're having a lot of trouble scoring runs. And they have been an absolutely horrific first 5 team this year. If you've just bet against them for the first 5 innings every game, you've got an amazing record. A lot of the comeback wins, a lot of the wins by comeback route for the Padres. Margevicius, or however it's pronounced, it will be the rookie left-hander will be on the mound for San Diego tonight. I think that hitters are going to start catching up to him. And I'm not sure he's got any more than kind of average stuff. Kind of an unknown quantity on the mound for Seattle and Eric Swanson, who was recently called up. Not bad in his first start, and he had a good bullpen performance. You got to give the Mariners the edge as far as the offense goes, but that also can get offset somewhat in this ballpark at night because some balls that get out of other ballparks don't get out of San Diego at the Marine Layer.
I agree with you that part, Dave. I look at Swanson, and that first start I thought was pretty impressive. He went 6 innings. He allowed just 1 run, 5 strikeouts, no walks. For a rookie making his first start, he had control of his pitches. These two teams, they're kind of like mirror images of themselves the way the season has gone. They both got off to quick starts, and then they both had 6-game losing streaks. Now Seattle's back on track, but I look at those.
But they beat the Angels, and do you kind of diminish the win somewhat because the Angels are kind of a bad baseball team.
They are, but then let's go one step back. The 6 losses that Seattle had
good teams
was to Cleveland and Houston. So, and you look at the 6 losses that San Diego had in their losing streak, and it was Colorado and Cincinnati.
Right.
Much better pedigree with Seattle's resume, in my opinion, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and ride them tonight. Seattle was 11-2 on the road this year, Dave, but at night they're 8-0. And then you look at the Padres, they're 5-8 at home. But when they play night games, they're 1-8. This could have been one of Ralph's double-edged angles for Joe's angle of the day. I'm going to go ahead and ride that angle, and I'll take Seattle here.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. And, Padres, we're going to see this out of the Padres this year, I think, where they really look good for a couple of weeks at a time, where the young talent is just coming together and everything's going right. And but there's still a team that looks like they're going to also have slumps during the course of the year where they just stop hitting as a team and they can't put more than 1 or 2 runs on the board. And it's really tough to win those games. And I think at the end of the year, you'll see a 75 to 80 win team that's not really any kind of a contender, but is also better than they've been. I still like the future for this team a lot.
Oh, they're going in the right direction. There's no question. And as you said about the ballpark earlier, it's like when you look at Colorado's numbers, their numbers are always going to be skewed because they play in a ballpark that they're scoring a lot of runs. San Diego's numbers are always going to be skewed because this is definitely a pitcher-friendly ballpark in San Diego.
Is. Yeah, I mean, even with it's not as friendly as it used to be going out to left field. That ball will get out of there in left field, but you still, if you hit it to right center field, you better get some help from something to get it out of the ballpark because those balls just die out there. So it's still a pitcher-friendly park for the most part. When we come back, we'll break it down. It's the WagerTalk Marquee matchup, and I would guess you know what it is. The Golden Knights and the Sharks. Game 7 coming up next.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
What's hot today? It's time for the WagerTalk Marquee Matchup of the Night with Marco DiAngelo. WagerTalk.com. Start winning now.
I don't know if there were any. All right, here we go. We're talking about items thrown on ice after things happen in hockey games, including hats for a hat trick in the NHL, and we got into other items that have been thrown in other cities. Detroit, probably the best known for octopus, which is still a tradition there. The rats in Miami for the Florida Panthers. They were plastic, obviously, I think. And you mentioned one other one.
Catfish.
Oh, in
Nashville.
Yeah. Yep.
When they played the Penguins in the Stanley Cup Finals, a guy smuggled a catfish in his pants. And the security guard, I must have smelled it. I don't know. But I don't know who did that search. They took his catfish away.
That's just so weird. All right, let's talk about, I don't know what, they're not going to throw sharks on the ice tonight in San Jose. I know that. It's going to be an exciting game. I mean, everything's on the line for the Golden Knights and Sharks. One team is going to see their season end tonight. The other will be moving on to play the Colorado Avalanche and will have home ice advantage as well in that series. We just found out that when Jeff Sherman was on with us just a few moments ago, he talked about the fact the line has gone up at Superbook USA because of a $50,000 bet on the Sharks money line, so it's gone up to like 115 there. Personally, I still think it's a shade short, but not enough for me to bet it. I made the price 125. It's in the neighborhood of 125, so technically maybe a little value to me on San Jose, but not not enough to bet. And besides, I'm going to be rooting for the Golden Knights.
I agree with you, Dave. My heart says the Golden Knights, and they need to rebound from Game 6. And everybody's going to look at Game 6 and say, okay, now what do? They just got to go out and play the same game. And I'll tell you, from a betting standpoint, I am going to have a wager on the game tonight. I'm taking the over 5.5 goals.
Okay.
And
even in a Game 7, which
even
sometimes
in a game
they get
7,
conservative.
Well, here's my thing.
Right.
You watched Game 6, and because Martin Jones played as well as he did, but we talked about there was 3 different goals that just were lucky that they didn't go in.
Yeah.
Okay. If any 1 or 2 of those go in, it changes the whole complexion of the game and the way San Jose plays. Because San Jose was content. They were playing the entire game like they were up 1 goal.
Yep.
Where it was actually 1-1, they were just playing not to lose. They weren't playing wide open, where if they fall behind, it changes it. And I think if any of those goals go in.
Stone in particular, because he's such a good finisher.
Right.
And he didn't finish on this particular play where, he had some net to shoot. And
it was a 2-1 game that had, if you watched it, and 59 shots on goal, that should have been a 6-goal game.
Absolutely. The Golden Knights were the better hockey team. They just didn't win the game.
So if we can get a couple in there early, I think it changes it. And then, of course, if one team's down, Dave, they'll pull the goalie a little bit earlier in Game 7. So you got more of a chance of that gimme goal at the end. Yeah.
Because then it'll be with like 3 minutes to play, like we saw last night. Washington had the goaltender out, and they were like 3.5 to play, I think, something like that. And there was an empty net goal. So, yeah, you might get 1, even 2 goals late, which can definitely have an impact on the total.
Absolutely, when you're looking at the total this low. So that's where I'm going for me, and I will be rooting, for the Knights, obviously.
I had 1 play at WagerTalk last night, which won on the Mets. I've got 2 tonight. Actually, I had 2 plays last night because I had the Dallas Stars, but it wasn't sold individually. Tonight I have 2 baseball plays being sold individually. You can get those right now. A lot of other good stuff as well. Who do we have for our $2 Tuesday?
Bobby Liggs has an NBA play tonight. He's been red hot in the NBA. You can check that out. And, of course, anytime you buy the $2 Tuesday, you get a special coupon for some other goodies. So check that out at WagerTalk tonight.
And I assume you have some stuff up as well?
I have 1 package up, and I have 3 plays in it tonight. I'm coming off a loss last night, the Matt Harvey loss, and we look to bounce back. I got 2 dogs and a total.
All right, time for us to check out what's happening, and that's at WagerTalk.com. Now it's time to check out our Lions Physical Therapy Play of the Day.
It's the LPT Play of the Day. Tonight's best bet from Lions Physical Therapy. Your 5-star rated specialists.
All right, and a reminder that for the latest in what they're doing in terms of innovative techniques and the like, make sure to follow Lions Physical Therapy on Twitter. It's easy enough, just at LionsPTLV. It's educational, if nothing else. And, of course, if you happen to be in need of some physical therapy, coming out of a surgery or, unfortunately, an accident where you might have gotten hurt, it's a perfect place to go to. The ratings are incredible, and all the insurance stuff fits there. So make it happen at Lions Physical Therapy and start feeling like $1 million again. We talked about this game in the opening in the 4-at-4 segment. We both like the Diamondbacks tonight. The value is probably a little gone as it opened at a decent dog price, and now it's like roughly even money. But we're going to ride the hot hand in Luke Weaver and take the Diamondbacks tonight to pick up a 2nd straight victory against Marco DeAngelo's Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yes, Dave, and throw one other stat at you. 25-44 are the Pirates against National League West.
Thanks to Jeff Sherman from Superbook USA. Thank you, Ari Platinum. Great job, my friend. Have fun covering the Golden Knights tonight. From Marco DeAngelo, I'm Dave Cokin. Cofield & Company's coming up next. Lots of good stuff on the table right here on The Sports Leader.